You might have watched a ton of different videos out there on zero DTE trading, like iron condors, vertical spreads, even butterfly spreads. Maybe you've even watched a ton of interviews, but still you can't make it through, or something's not clicking, something's not working. And what happens in zero DTE options, or even just in any form of trading, is that you need to go and think beyond just the strategies. A lot of people are always focused in on the strategies, the get rich quick things, and what can I do now or make money immediately. Sometimes maybe the zero DTE is not the right alignment for you. Other times it might be the right alignment, but you're not looking at the other parts of it. You might have the strategy down, but you might not have the other things that you need. Now, if you're brand new here, I'm Sasha, the options coach, and I deal with people all the time when it comes to trading, from classes to one-on-one coaching. And one of the bigger things that I actually find, especially when we're doing zero DTE, because I get a lot of phone calls about that, is the trading success behind it. What most people actually want, and what they want versus what they need, is they usually want something that is related to kind of the method or the strategy. This is usually what people want to pay me for, is going in and show me how to do this. Show me what is it that I need to do to become successful from the strategy basis. But it's not always what you need. When it comes to trading, there's a lot of other components that you also need in order to make things work. Money management, you know, how you manage those trades, the portfolio and things like that, and also the mindset. These are other two big critical parts behind it, but it's not something many people focus on. Strategy wise, when it comes to zero DTE option trading, you know, you could do tons of things, like, let's say, an iron condor. You could even do vertical spreads. You can get them at the money. You could get them out of the money. So all of these things work fine. You can even do butterfly spreads. So there's a ton of different strategies out there, but you might be wondering, well, still, they're not working. Like, do I tweak my iron condor to be a little different? And you can. And I've shown one of the tweaks with an iron condor on the SPX just earlier on one of the videos, that if we set up an iron condor, let's say we make it a little bullish, and then we actually offset it with like a 2-to-1 right here iron, well, we have less risk over here on the downside. I could even move this, let's say 10 points higher on that. And yeah, we can create different kinds of strategies for iron condors and different structures. But these strategies just give you a little bit of a gateway or a little bit of a knowledge. And once you align with a certain strategy, then there's other components to making things work. And this is where a lot of people fall apart, is that they might have this method or strategy. They might understand, how do I construct things? But they don't evolve that strategy to version 2 or version 3. They don't evaluate the losers. They don't evaluate, how can I tweak and modify? Just like here, I showed you an iron condor version or variation that was maybe a little bit different than you've seen in the past, or maybe something that's not as commonly shown. What about how to manage it? There's, you know, could be 20 different ways to manage that strategy. You could manage it in all sorts of ways. So if you go in and take a look at it, you might say, well, now I'm going to try this management technique or that management technique. And again, doing it a little bit different, you can evolve that management style to making it your own. And then executing orders. Again, are you doing one ticker, multiple things? You know, if you understand, hey, I want to stick to the 0 day, you might stay in the SPX, but maybe SPX is not the right fit for you. Maybe it's too large. Maybe you need to go to the XSP. Maybe you need to go into the Russell. So there's different things that you can do. Maybe you want to do more like a zero DTE on stocks on a Friday. Maybe you're more in that regard. So everybody's a little different, but you need to find kind of your angle and your area. So that's kind of one of the bigger things. Now, the other thing, not only on the strategy, because that's what most people are looking for, you need to look at the mindset. And the mindset is very, very different, right? If you've got a lot of emotional stress that's always coming in, maybe you need the money or you need the capital, like, hey, I have to make money now because I got to pay my bills. That is a very difficult mindset to be in when you're trading, because it's a scarcity mindset. And what you're going to do is you start forcing you know, different trades. You're just like, hey, I got to push this trade. I gotta make it work. And if it doesn't work, I won't be able to feed myself or pay for the electricity or the internet or whatever it is. So those are very difficult times to be in. If you don't have that right mindset about these things, you know, trading oftentimes won't be a success. So we want to look at beyond just the strategy. What about thinking about the portfolio? How do the 0 day options fit into the portfolio? See, a lot of people, they go in and they think, oh, I've got a $50,000 account. Well, I'm just going to do 0 day all day long. Or I've got $1 million account. I'm going to do 0 day all day long. And you might say that's a good thing to think about because you don't have overnight risk and this and that. But sometimes larger size portfolios don't always equate for that. I want to show you a little bit of a diagram here, or a concentration of different strategies and concepts here. Is that if we look to spreading capital, let me see if I could find it here. Pull it up right here. If we look at spreading capital and looking at a portfolio overview, if you really want to spread money, because the name of this business is learning to spread money and capital, you might go in and do 0 day right here. But only part of it is your funds or your holdings. You might also include some penny stocks, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with penny stocks, but it might be a sliver. You could take a few shots here and there, but it might be a sliver. You can do non-directional calendars, non-directional double diagonals. You could mix it up. Now, do you need to do all of these? No, you don't have to. You could go in and say, okay, I am going to do non-directional iron condors, and then I'll do speculative 0 DTE, and I will do them more with a smaller size, and that's fine too. You have to find your formula in your mix. Other people do it a little bit different. They might have more money and capital on 0 DTE. So maybe it's a bigger chunk, something like this. So instead of long portfolio, it might be 0 DTE. And then the remaining part, all of this other part, is actually long investments. So again, you might do a half and half blend. And that's your goal, is to find what works for your mindset, your portfolio, your style, your strategy, and your kind of blended mix, because not everybody's going to have the same blended mix. But that's what you need to look at. So when you start going into all of this, this is what you're looking for. And the other thing is kind of like looking at emotional intelligence. And this is you. So when you hit a trade and you lose on that trade, are you taking it like, man, this is really terrible? Are you throwing monitors out the window, and are you getting mad and frustrated? Or are you able to kind of recover? Are you able to let trades go and not worry about it? You can see it usually in your personal life. Like if you're the person with, you see it with road rage, you probably are not one that's able to control your emotions. If you get frustrated when there's people that are in front of you at the grocery store at the checkout, and it's like, man, this line is too long. You've got no patience. I mean, all those things are very easy to see, and it's why many people fail. Because if you see somebody with road rage, it's not the case that it's, they're going to be a bad trader. Maybe they're just, an a-hole. But the point is that, you probably don't have the discipline, the patience, the mentality. And I look at those things in day-to-day life, where how can I work on my trading even in day-to-day life, where sometimes things are not going your way, but can you still be calm? Can you still be rational? Can you be, a little bit more at peace and working through those things? Because that will make you be more peaceful in other situations that are a little bit more stressful. So when you have a little more stress that's coming into you from those trades, you'll be a lot better off. And that's what you can find, is whether you're at the grocery store, looking at those things, whether you're driving, whether you're at your kid's soccer match or tennis match, all of those things do play a role. Whether you're paying a bill online and things just are not working, like the website's not logging you in, and you get frustrated and annoyed. All of those little bits and pieces add up. So if you can see how that works in the emotional part of trading, it all applies, because the better you are at that in regular life, it can apply into trading. Because when a trade's not going in your favor, like for example, I was doing some earnings trades here for one of the classes, because we were doing the class we were doing was the at the money verticals for earnings here, this class. And so we do some trade examples here on the paper account and discuss it. But yeah, not every trade is going to go in your favor. Like we've got SMCI right here, and it's a losing trade right now. So if you get very emotional or upset about those things, that can be a huge problem. Or like Disney over here, also not moving very well. This is an at the money vertical. But again, all of these things play a huge role when it comes to trading. And what many people do is they go in and they think, okay, well, it's, I just need the strategy. And yes, that is what a lot of times people will pay me for, is the strategies, because most people are starting at ground zero or at the beginning. But over time, in order for you to actually be successful, you actually do need some of the other components behind it, like the mindset and the money management and all these things. Like how do you size? How do you spread money? How do you capture gains? How do you protect wealth if things are working in your favor and then they start going against you? How do you protect that? And some of it is also beyond just the trading part. It's emotional intelligence, working on that, maybe even outside of trading. And as you get better at all those things, that's where the trading actually evolves in a weird way, sometimes focusing on the other parts, not even strategy based, working on those external things like the patience, the discipline, when you're driving, when you're at the grocery store, it's going to make you actually a much better trader. Anyways, hope that helps. Truly appreciate you joining me. Feel free to check out some of the classes that we've got. There's a lot of great knowledge and information there, and enjoy the rest of the week ahead. And I will see you on the next one. Take care.